Welcome to the Basecamp tutorial. Over the next few minutes, my goal is to provide you with some clarity of why we use Basecamp, what it's going to take for you to use Basecamp, and then how do you actually use it. So why do we have Basecamp? Well, Basecamp is our operations management solution for campus experience. There's over 100 people that work for campus experience, and we do hundreds of different tasks throughout the school year and through the summer, and we need a platform or a solution that can help manage all of that, and that's what Basecamp is. It's there to protect you so that when you put things in Basecamp, you don't have to remember it. You don't have to think, oh my goodness, what is due today? You have it on Basecamp. It's there to respect others because then they know when you're going to get things done and you know when they need you to do things. But it's also there to build our culture, which is one of collaboration and cooperation. So in the next few minutes, our goal is to walk through the different levels of Basecamp, to walk through the navigational tools of Basecamp, and then to really dive deep into how you can use Basecamp. So what we're going to start with is, first of all, at the top of the screen, if you have set up your account with your picture, and let me encourage you to set up your account with your picture, that allows the team to get to know you because people get to know names or faces. I want them to know both. So put your face there so that you can have people can get to know you and your face. So if I click on my face right here, and I go to the notifications. It says notifications are on. I can change my notification settings. Each of you are going to want notifications in a different way. So let me show you how to change that. So when you change your notification settings, you can see notify me about everything. That's what I want. You might not want that. Only notify me when someone sends me a ping or mentions me. So let me stop for a second and tell you, Basecamp operates a lot like Twitter. So when I do @BrianBurns, it will come directly to me. Or if I do @DanMcDougall, it will go to Dan. So you're going to use the @ symbol in a lot of your messages so that you can direct your comments to a certain person. So you might want to use that option. I don't like that option. I want to know about everything. And then you have the options right here. You could say, do I want an email notification? Do I want a pop-up? Do I want to show the number of unread items? That is really good. And you'll see on the hey and the pings, it gives you when you get to the dashboard, it gives you a visual reminder. Man, you've got 3 pings right here. Why don't you go handle that? And then you can also add it to your devices. And that might be something you don't want to do. I would encourage you to keep it on your computer. There is a Basecamp app, and it's Basecamp 3 if you go to the Google Play Store or iTunes. And we'll walk through that differently, and you can figure that out with the app. There's another thing at the bottom on when you would want to be notified. It could be always 24/7, 365. I want that as the director. You're probably not going to want that. So the thing that you've got down here is work can wait, only during my work hours. So say that you work from 11 to 1 on Thursdays and Fridays. You go there, put 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. and click on the buttons Thursdays or Fridays. So right now it's the whole week. So you come here to Thursdays to Fridays. I'm going to take Monday off. I guess you have to have something. So you go Thursday to Friday, and then now that's the only time Basecamp is going to notify you. Now, it will notify you when you log in, but it will not notify you through your email. So that is just your notifications. You can save your settings after you're done. So let's walk into the different levels of Basecamp. So first of all, this is your home screen with what you're looking at right now. On your home screen, there are 2 different levels of Basecamp. There are teams, which you see here at the top, and then there are projects. Teams are what our individual groups are. So the info group has a team, the media group has a team, SGA has a team, the whole campus experience team is on there. They are a team. That's how we will communicate together as a team. Projects are large events that are reoccurring. So it might be like an alt night or campus Christmas or a leave or JS or box project, or it might be a certain media project that you're working on if you're on the media team, or it might be a Renova project you're working on. Those are things that start and stop. Teams do not start and stop. The projects start and stop. So those are the 2 levels. So let's look at navigation on the home screen. Well, of course, you've got the home button. The home button is really important because it takes everything back there. Your pings. Pings are direct communication with somebody. So if I want to have a direct communication with Dan McDougall, I just type in his name. It shows face right there, which let me stop right here. We've got a lot of people that have the same name. So what happens if they're just Dan? For Dan McDougall, I can look right at this and go, okay, not even looking at his last name, I know that's Dan McDougall. So I want to ping him. This is direct communication. So I can have a direct communication with Dan. So I can type something in right here and say, hi, how are you doing? Or I need immediate approval for this event. I'm not going to send it because Dan's on his computer right now. But what will happen is that will go directly to Dan. That is a ping. It is very useful. It's useful with amongst other teams. So if Nathan Fry is working on a video or Jessica St. Ange is working on graphic design and they have a question for you, they can go at Brian Burns, hey Brian, what do you think about this video project? And at that point, I will get it and I will answer it. A key to using pings, you need to check them every 24 hours and keep that communication going. Again, go back to the home screen. The next one is hey. Hey is kind of like, hey, what's going on? All right, that's all that it is. So there's a lot of things in there. You see, okay, there's some things that people are asking for me. There's some overdue things. There's some things that I've assigned and they need to ask me questions. This is just more a glimpse of what's going on in my world and what's going on the teams that I'm on, the projects that I'm connected to. So the nice thing about it is once you've seen them all, you can mark them all as red and that goes away. Again, to get back to the home screen, you click on the home button. Activity. This allows you to see what is going on, what other people are doing. You can see what the entire team is doing. Now, let me caution you. You are not there to snoop on other people. But if I'm looking at this and I know that I have to leave and I look at Nathan and I say, Nathan Fry, I need you to take over for me. He can go over here, go to somebody's activities, and he can look up what is on my plate. And once it loads, because sometimes it takes time, he can go immediately look up what's on my activity and he can see, okay, where has Brian been? What are some things that Brian needs to do? You can see someone's assignments. You can see to-dos added and completed, overdues, and upcoming dates. This is just a good snapshot of what's going on. You as an individual team member probably are not going to need to use this, but your group leaders, which would be your Dan McDougall's, myself, Chrissy Faulkner, Tim Abel, Lauren Kuhn, Teresa Long, we're going to look at this. The execs, they're going to look at this, but you as a group member, probably not going to need to look at it, but I wanted you to be aware of it. Again, going back to the home screen takes you everything back. My stuff, this is really helpful. I've got my assignments here, my bookmarks, my schedule, drafts that I might have done, recent activity, and boost. A boost is just something where somebody gives you a thumbs up. So really my assignments is really where I think you need to go. And it allows you to see all the assignments that, man, I'm still a little bit behind on some of this stuff. I've got stuff that is due today, and I need to get to that. I've also got stuff due next week. It allows me to put stuff on my Basecamp and not worry about it and just wait for it till later. And then also you've got this find button where I can search for anybody on the team, any project, and that is really helpful. So let me go back to the home screen. This is your home screen. So let me show you the navigation that would be in a team or a project. We're gonna choose the summer operations team right here. So in the summer operations team, there's a couple things that you have right here. You've got campfires, which a campfire is something that's going on. So if I'm working with you today on a shift, I might put something on there. Hey guys, today this just happened in this dorm. So we were just over in Walker and the fire smoke detectors are chirping. On a campfire, I might click on this for the team and go, you know what? Smoke detectors in Walker are going crazy. Now the entire team see that. So now if somebody's on their phone or on the app or on the device on their computer, they see that. And you might even see people start to see and to answer on that, saying maybe they answer, hey, I took care of that. It's just a running list of what's going on today. To get back to the project, you don't hit the home button or the team, you click on the team name or the project name. So that was Campfire. Updates are more, this is direct communication with the team or in the project. So this would be what we would consider an email. The reason why I want us to use updates is because everything is lodged in that project or in that team, and you can search by what updates are. And we've changed them. You'll see this in the example that I give you, but there you might want to see everything that I've sent. So here's all the emails that I've sent. So it might be like, I can't remember what Brian said earlier. Well, you can go search for that. So again, to go back to the project, you go back to you click on the name. To-dos, we're going to get into this more, but to-dos are just the things that are going on. I think it's really important that everything you do, you put as a to-do. There's a couple reasons for that. One, you don't forget. If you're like me, you're going to forget. Number two, it allows you to think through other things because your mind doesn't have to be thinking about just what has to be done. And number three, it leaves a trail for the next year because you're not going to have this job forever. I'm not going to have this job forever. We want to leave a trail for others to follow. So those are to-dos, and we'll go a little deeper into that later. Now again, click on the name of the project or the team, and it takes you back to the team homepage. Schedule just shows you just a schedule view of what's going on. So all of this shows what's going on inside of this team that is on a to-do. So that's all that schedule is. Docs and files are linked to Google. Let me be very clear about this, and we'll do another video tutorial about this later. All of our docs and files are housed in Google. They're not housed on Basecamp. You put them in Google, you link them to Basecamp, and we'll show you how to do that later. So that's docs and files. Then you've got email forwards. So what email forwards to do? Say that Dr. White sends me an email about summer operations. I'm going to want to house that in summer operations because we might want to see that next year. So I link that by hitting this green button at the top of the screen, forward it an email. I copy this email address and I put it in the sender field of my email, and automatically that email will show up in this Basecamp. Again, go back to the team or title. Automatic check-ins, we've renamed that. Automatic check-ins are what we call quality checks. So that might be like every month I ask every team, hey, how are your goals doing? How are you doing on your goals? How are you personally doing on the goals that your team set? How are you feeling? Meaning, how are we doing as a team? Hey, what are some things we can improve on? It allows that communication to happen throughout the year and not just at the end of the year. So that's what we call quality checks, or what Basecamp calls updates, or automatic check-ins. Again, at the bottom of a team or project, you're going to see all the activity. So here's all the activity that has happened today, all the activity that has happened yesterday, and so on. It's just a great snapshot to keep everybody in the loop. Because let's face it, you're all students or your full-time team working on other projects. We're not all in the same room at the same time, but we've got to all be on the same page, and that's what Basecamp provides for us. So let's go back to the home screen, and let's dive into what it looks like setting up a project. I'm not going to set up a team right now because I want all the teams to be set up by me or a full-time team member. The reason for that is we don't want to have too many teams. You can have too many teams on here and then it just gets confusing. Just come check with us. If you believe that your group needs another team, let's talk about it. But I believe that we could probably make everything work with all the teams that we have and the projects that we're going to talk about. So what we're going to look at for projects, you come down here to the middle of the screen, you see the word projects. Now you can change the projects to have it to the tile view that is up above here, but I don't like that. I kind of like projects as list, so I just leave it as a list. That is completely up to you. So to add a new one, you're going to add new, but from a template. We're going to be creating templates for alt nights, for campus Christmas, for JS, for a leave. But we have a basic template that we're working on, but I'm going to show you the test template. So I choose my template, campus experience test. It's always going to be campus experience test, and I'm going to go to, there's a reason for that, because PSG, Production Services, also uses Basecamp. So campus experience test, I hit next. I'm going to name this title. So I'm going to name it 19 test video. And I'm always going to put CE at the end. I do the year so that I can search back, because after this is done, we're going to archive it so that it's always there for us to view, but it's got the year. So like for an alt night, I can go back to 17, alt 1, or 18, alt 1. And when we get into the year 2025, I can go back to alt 1, 19, or 2019. I can do that, and that's why we do the year. So I save that. It's going to make that, it's going to set that up. When it's ready, I click on it. When I get here, you'll notice that all the things are named right. Campfire, updates, to-dos, schedule, quality checks, docs and files, and emails. Those will already all be there. We'll even have some of the to-dos already set up for you. But let me show you how to invite some people. So when you set this up, you're going to have to invite your team members. So I'm going to invite some people. So I'm going to click on this, and then I'm going to add people from our team. So I'm going to add Dan McDougall. So there he is right there. I can keep adding down the list, or I can be done with that. It will say that you can give a note to them. So I might just say, hey, at Dan. Didn't work that way because he's not on the, if they're not on the project, you can't do at Dan in that project. Only the people that are in the project you can directly link to. So Dan's not on there yet. So this is test project. So I'm going to send that to Dan. He will get that in his email, and then now he's a part of this project. There's another element of adding people that I want you to be aware of. There's the client side. And the client side is communication with outside vendors. They might be internal people, so maybe it's like Dr. White or John Wood or PSG or AV Services, or you might want approval from me or another group leader. This is where you add this, and let me walk you through. It's a little bit cumbersome, but let me walk you through that. So add a person, add people, go down here to add client to this project. You're going to want to stick with the old way. I like the old way. The new way with Basecamp, and you might be wondering, why aren't you going with the new way? The new way allows the client to see everything the team is doing. I don't think that's important. I think the client needs to see what we want the client to see, and that is why we stick with the old way. So you click stick with the old way. You're going to add in, so maybe you've already got a client set up for alt nights, or maybe you've got, I would always say that you want to start with the year. So like 19, there's nothing there. So I'm going to do 19 test project. And then I'm going to actually always put CE at the end, so our friends in our PSG know that. I'm going to add that. Now I can add somebody to this project. If you are adding me or any other group leader, Dan, Teresa, Chrissy, Lauren, or Tim, you're going to want to add just the last name, because if you put Brian Burns in, I'm already on this project. You've got to trick the system a little bit, so just put last name. For email, you would just put my email. And then again, you could add another person, you could save changes, and it's going to ask you want to send a draft message. You don't have to do that. I don't usually do that, so I know skip this step. You've got to keep going. It's not over yet, so hang in there. You click on this PIN number up here, and it's going to give you this PIN. Don't worry about any of that. Scroll all the way to the bottom. Don't allow 19 test project CE to log in the client side. This is really important, because if you give them access to log in, they will see everything that you're working on. And that's not important for the client. So what you want to do is click on this. Do not allow. You click on the red button here, and it's all done. So let me show you. Let me go back. We're going to come back to client side, but let me show you. So I clicked on the project name, and now I'm in the main thing of the project. Up top, you see this green button that says go to client side. There are two sides to the project. There is our team's project, the project side our team sees, and there's a client side. So let me show you the client side before we go any further. You can do a couple things. I can send an email to the client. This is a great way to send an email to the client, because now the email is housed in the project by itself. So it's not in your email. It's not in my email. It's not like, hey, wait, who emailed Dr. White? We can go into the project and see that. That is really, really important, because let me tell you, this summer has showed me a lot of things, but one of the things it showed me is everything that I do at Cedarville or any job should not be dependent on me. I should be able to walk away at any moment to take care of family or take care of other situations, and the team should be able to operate with me. And that's what this will do for us. It's not tied just to me. So I could send an email, but the one I really want to show you is a request for approval. So I'm just going to do this and go test. I need this approved. So this might be a budget. So it might be Nathan Fry going, you know what, Brian, I really want a new camera. So I'm going to put this on here. I need to spend X amount of dollars for a new camera. I need this approved by this date. So maybe he links in financial tracking to this, which you can do. And you go, who is the person that needs to approve this? Well, because I'm the only client, it's right there, Burns. You don't want to do no rush. You do no rush, nobody will get back to you. So give them a date. So give me a date as today. And basically what's happening is I can type in here, I want Dan McDougall to see that I sent this approval. So maybe it's Nathan sending something to PSG. Maybe he wants me to see that he's asking them for approval. So now I'm going to send this, and I'm going to show you, if I go back to the client side, you see this yellow right here. So it's waiting on me. You don't have to worry about it anymore. It's something that's in my email. It's something that I already will see from time to time. And if I don't do it, it will remind me. And if I say no, it will come up as red. And if I say yes, it will come up as green. It's there to protect you. It's there to respect people, because now you're not waiting to the last minute to ask for approval. You're asking for approval with a lot of lead time, and that's really important. So that's what the client side does. Now to get back to the project, you click on the name. And now you've got your campfires, your updates. So let's show you the updates real quick, and I'll show you the different categories. You've got announcements, Bravo Zulu, which would be like, man, we're doing really well. Customer experience, how do we want people to think, feel, and respond? Director's note, financial, goals, group leaders, which is me, Dan, Teresa, Chrissy, Lauren, or Tim. Immediate attention, operations, student leader, or the execs, time cards or hours, excuse me, or whiteboard or ideation. Those are the categories. Once you have those categories in there, you can start searching in those categories. To-dos. The nice thing about to-dos, that's a new element for this. Now, I said in the earlier part of the video, we will have some to-dos already in there for you, but right now we don't. But if you go up here, you see this yellow right here, this is a subgroup. So under operations, you could have several operations. So if I'm thinking for an alt night, you could have operations movie, operations event rooms, operations setup, teardown. But what this will do is allow you to have all of those underneath the operation tabs because of subgroups. So you click on this, you right click on, actually you just click on the 3 lines, add a group. So I'm going to do setup. And I'm going to give it the color pink. I don't know why. I just like that color for some reason today. And now I can add a to-do underneath this part of this subgroup. Set up event rooms. I'm going to assign it to myself. I'm going to do the due date is for next Friday, which is my birthday. So make sure you say happy birthday. And I add this to-do. I can also, inside that to-do, add notes. So this is where I can give specific instructions. So you might say, man, I really need the media team to have this done for me. Do the notes inside there. They know what will happen there. So that allows us to do that. Those are the to-dos. Now, if you go back to schedule again is just a calendar view of what's going on. Quality checks, like I said, that's where your execs or us as group leaders or me as a director, we're going to be checking in with you and giving you opportunity to give us feedback. Email forwards below, you already know what that is. Now let me go to docs and files. Right now, when you look at your template now, it doesn't have the folders in there. But when we get it done, it will have these 4 folders. CX for customer experience, O for operations, R for record keeping, E for evaluation, which spells out core. And on our Google tutorial, we'll talk more about that. So I'm going to just do a CX. I'm going to make a folder for CX. So I'm just going to put that right there. And then I'm going to go ahead in that CX folder. I can add a link to a Google Drive. Now, the reason why you add the link to the Google Drive is now every time that you dump something into Google, it shows up in Basecamp. So this might just be 19 test CX. All right, so I'm going to go right here. I think I'm going to go over to the other screen that you can't see, and I'm going to copy the link from the URL from the Google Drive, and I'm going to Control V, and automatically it's posting right in there. So anything that I would ever drop into that folder will drop into this doc files on this project. The reason why I do that, and you might like, well, we've got Google, why do we need both? Because if they're looking at Basecamp in the future, they can go back and see everything that you've worked on. So looking at this, you can see all the activities I've already done today. So hit the home button again, it goes back to the home screen. You can see all those different things. So I know I went really, really quick, but the goal of this tutorial is just to show you what Basecamp is there for, to why are we using it? We're using it to protect you, to respect others, to build our culture, to have a system that keeps us organized. What it requires, it's going to require for you to get to know this. And how does it work? Well, you're going to have to trust it. I expect all of you to use it. If you have questions, seek clarity, ask your execs, ask your group leader, ask me. We're here to help you. But I really believe that Basecamp is going to teach us that it needs to be about life-work balance instead of work-life balance. Work doesn't drive us. Our life with our family, our relationship with Jesus Christ, all those things should drive us before our work. And I think too many times in our world we have it backwards. And I want to teach over the next year and over several years, if you're with us, the idea that we put work very important, but we put it second to life. So I really hope that Basecamp will help you. If you have questions, let me know. Go in, Play around with Basecamp. Get the app on your phone from Google Play or iTunes. But again, I really believe that if you put your effort in, it's really going to make a difference in your life. So thanks for watching the Basecamp tutorial. We look forward to seeing you again soon with other tutorials. Have a great day.